As the last bit of today's session, I'd like to show some of this content and show how it works, what it looks like in the various applications. Important to point out that before I started using this information, I ran the self-extracting archive by which the content is delivered. So you just run that executable, and that creates a nice folder structure on your system, and you can see what that folder structure looks like over here. So all of the content is subdivided into the various sections by which you probably want to organize your work as well. So each of these folders, and I will open that folder in a moment, have the spreadsheets, they have the .vico files, they have the Revit content as well as the ArchiCAD content. So let's take a look at the actual content. Opening the folder that we were just looking at, that is this one, and let's open up the substructure. As you can see, there's two folders in that. There's the 3D warehouse and then the 5D knowledge base. The 3D warehouse contains ArchiCAD and Revit content, and when I open the Revit content, I see that I have these Revit files. So there's a Revit file with unique elements, with unique Revit family types for the A10 category, and then there's a separate one for the A20 category. So in Revit, this is what that looks like. So we've got a big overview, if you look at it in 2D, with all of the unique elements that we've recognized during work on projects. So any time that we saw another element that we thought would be beneficial to have in our standard 5D data pack, we've standardized that and brought that into here. So let's zoom in a little bit to take a closer look at at some of the descriptions. So we've got a sample of the element. This is a slab. Over here you can see the description, and the description matches the family type that you see over here. Let's take a look at another area over here. So these are some more examples. So anytime you want to use a piece of this in your project, you simply use a copy and paste operation and bring that into your new project. Let's take a look at the 3D image of that. This is what that looks like in 3D. So this is the superstructure, and then let's open another one. This is the 3D representation of what we just looked at. So all of them have assigned materials, assigned colors, and ready to be used in your project. Going back to my Windows Explorer to show some more of the content. So we're in the 3D warehouse. In the 5D knowledge base, I have the Excel format. So that's the source content. That's how we prepared the information. And each of them have a spreadsheet that you can use to modify the content to match your own descriptions, your own codes, and to, if needed, to update your unit rates so that they can be used on your own projects to price a stage. When you open that in Excel, this is what it looks like. So we've got the code levels over here needed to define the assembly and component structure in Vico Office Cost Planner. Each code level is a child of the previous code level, and you can see that we've got 6 levels. The 6th level being the resources. So we've got resources on level 6. We've got activities, which become the input for our schedules, of course. And then we've got the elements on level 4, and level 1, 2, and 3 are really the unit format levels, which, of course, if needed, can be modified to match the grouping structure that you would like to see in your project and in your reports. The unit costs over here are left empty. We do not provide the unit rates, so you can put in your own unit rates to really make it your own database using this spreadsheet, and then bring it into Vico Office. Let's open the Vico Office format. So the Vico Office format is, as I said, the .vico file, .vico, and in Vico Office I can unpack that information in the dashboard. So there's the Unpack button that allows me to open that .vico file. That creates a new project in my dashboard that I can then use as a reference for new projects, which then allows me to copy and paste from that reference. So I've got the superstructure Vico warehouse open, and when I go to planned costs, you'll see the content that's included. We have the Excel spreadsheet open earlier. This is what that looks like, what that spreadsheet looks like once it's brought in into Vico Office. So to the left is our content for the superstructure in the 6 levels. So when I click the plus button, I open up those 6 levels, descriptions, and to the right I published and activated my my Revit warehouse model. So you can see that all of this content that's in the warehouse is highlighted in yellow, which means that all of the elements in my project have been assigned to a cost item. So when I now click on any of these elements, let me roll that up a little bit so I can recognize the individual elements. You will see over here in the 3D preview how those elements are being linked up with the cost information. So this is our warehouse, the Revit warehouse in this case. When I click on any of these, you'll see how it's highlighted in the model. So that means automatically linked up. When I open up the activities level, you see that the appropriate quantities are being used, are being pulled from the model geometry, and that goes down to the activities level, where we use it to calculate the amounts of material and the number of labor hours. And as I mentioned earlier, that becomes then the input for the integrated schedule. And that completes the 5D model, all predefined using building elements that you put together at any of the stages that you defined with your model progression specification.